What up, y'all? Welcome to United USA 2020 and beyond. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check it out.
Adjustments that are logical and reasonable to make based on what we're watching here in this presidency.
Yeah, I think both can be a bipartisan endeavor. I think people can say, does he seem frail when he gets on the steps of Air Force One? Yes. Does he have moments where he freezes, he doesn't say anything for long pauses? Yes. Does he say things that are not just untrue but absurd, such as that there were no vaccinations until he came into office, when there's a picture of him being vaccinated on December 21st, or that Officer Sicknick was killed by a Trump supporter, which we know was not true, or that the G7 chairman had not called on the member from South Africa, which he just called upon? Does he have people...
Or saying that you can go to a gun show and buy a gun without a background check, which is not true. No matter where you go to buy a gun, you're getting a background check. Let's proceed.
Seem to shepherd him around, his wife or Kamala Harris, at press conferences? Does he say, I'm not supposed to do this, or they won't let me do this, as if he's almost admitting that he's under custodianship? Does he have a abbreviated day? Is it very clear that he's not traveling, he's not being out in the way that Barack Obama was, or Bill Clinton, or Donald Trump and George W. Bush? I say yes. So there's all these signs, and it's very ironic, because you see, Martha, the left had told us, going back to Reagan when he was 77 in 1986, that he had cognitive problems, and this is terrible, you've got to hold the president account. And then when John McCain ran, you remember in 2008, he was 72, and they ran a commercial, the left did, saying he doesn't even know how many houses he has. And then finally, Donald Trump was... Rod Rosenstein and Andrew McCabe said that he was non-compos mentis, and they wanted to wear a wire to trap him so they could invoke the 25th Amendment. Finally, they got a Yale psychiatrist to say that he had mental problems, and finally he took the Monterey Cognitive Assessment and aced.
So the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this video is all about. And President Trump...
Yeah. So we could settle this in the way the left had tried to settle it with Donald Trump, by having Biden just take a bipartisan group of doctors and just take a test. And
all those other things. And so, the fact that the president got, 30 out of 30 on that exam, I think that, there's no indication whatsoever that he has any cognitive issues. And,
All right, let's stop it right there. So they're talking about President Trump. All right, President Trump got 30 out of 30. By the way, a moment ago, I made a mistake and said the Monterey Cognitive Assessment. It's called the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. Anyway, so yes, so this is what Biden needs to take. Okay, this is where it needs to go. Okay, Biden needs to take this test and prove to Americans that he is capable of being a functioning, cognitively aware, reasonable human being if he wants to be commander-in-chief. And I think you all know what's going to happen. Biden will most likely fail that test, and then they'll say, well, we're going to need to take him out we're going to need, and we're going to, he's going to step down and resign, and Kamala Harris, of course, you guys know, that's exactly what would happen. Then we're just in as much trouble now as Americans as we, whether it's Biden or Harris, we're screwed either way. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, this Montreal Cognitive Assessment, that's what Biden needs to take. And Americans need to push for this. If you guys agree, please like and share.
We don't really have a real leader in this country anymore. Yeah. I mean, you could say Joe Biden is the president, he's our leader, and you'd be correct on paper, but, I mean, everybody knows he's out of his mind. He's barely hanging in there.
So this is the leader of the free world. This guy right here. Take a look. Very disturbing. I wish I was making this shit up, but you can't. Obviously, Joe Biden needs to take the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. Joe Biden was a puppet back then in the Obama administration, and he's still a puppet now. Still a creep, still a weirdo. And worse than that, he's confused. As commander-in-chief, he is not fit to be president of the United States.
It's in private. She'll say, I think we should do A, B, C, or D. And I'll say, I like A, don't like B and C. And just go, okay. Like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign.